In the 1970s, young women began disappearing across the United States. At first, no one believed these cases were connected. Police treated them as routine missing person cases. But there was one terrifying truth no one realized yet. These disappearances were not random. They were the work of one man. And he was nothing like what people imagined a killer would look like. He didn't look dangerous. He didn't stand out. Instead, he was polite, educated, and trustworthy. His name was Ted Bundy. On the outside, Bundy appeared to be an intelligent college student. He studied law. He was interested in politics. He spoke confidently and was socially skilled. But behind this normal appearance was a dark secret. Ted Bundy was living a double life. During the day, he acted like an ordinary man. At night, he surrendered to his darkest impulses. Years later, experts would describe him with a chilling conclusion. Evil can sometimes wear a completely normal face. What made Bundy truly dangerous was not how he looked. It was how normal he appeared. Because people expect monsters to look different. But sometimes the most dangerous people hide in plain sight. Ted Bundy was born in 1946, and even his early life was surrounded by confusion. For many years, his mother was introduced as his sister. His real family history was complicated and unclear. According to psychologists, identity confusion during childhood can sometimes affect emotional development. As a child, Bundy was described as quiet and reserved, but some accounts suggest he showed disturbing behaviors from an early age. Criminal psychology research shows that many serial killers share certain childhood traits: lack of empathy, emotional detachment, a need for control, manipulative behavior. Looking back at Bundy's early life, some of these patterns seem to exist. As a teenager, he wanted acceptance. He wanted success. He wanted respect. But inside him, something darker was growing. And over time, that darkness became stronger. By 1974, young women began disappearing in Washington state. There were similarities between the victims. They were all young. Most were college students. And they all vanished without warning. Witnesses began mentioning a strange detail. Some women were last seen helping a man with his arm in a cast. He would ask for help carrying books or loading something into his car. That man was Ted Bundy. Bundy was extremely skilled at gaining trust. He appeared vulnerable. He looked like someone who needed help. And when people chose to help him, they never returned. This revealed one of his most dangerous traits: manipulation. Bundy didn't just rely on physical force. He hunted psychologically. He was a predator, but his greatest weapon was his intelligence. Some of the victims' stories were especially disturbing. 21-year-old Linda Ann Healy disappeared early in the morning. There were signs of a struggle in her room, but no one had heard anything. Another victim, Donna Manson, disappeared from her university campus. Susan Rancourt and Roberta Parks also vanished under similar circumstances. At first, police failed to connect the cases, but as the number of missing women grew, it became clear something was terribly wrong. In 1975, Bundy's luck began to change. A police officer stopped a suspicious vehicle. Ted Bundy was behind the wheel. At first, it seemed like a routine traffic stop. But what police found inside the car was alarming. Handcuffs, a mask, rope, a crowbar. Bundy tried to explain these items, but his story did not make sense. He was taken into custody as a suspect. This became the first step toward his capture. Witnesses began identifying him. Investigators slowly started connecting the evidence, but Bundy remained confident. He even chose to represent himself in court because he believed he was smarter than everyone else. In 1977, something unbelievable happened. Bundy escaped. While allowed to use a courthouse library to prepare his defense, he saw an opportunity. He approached a window and jumped from the second floor. He was injured, but he managed to escape. The nation was shocked. A serial killer was now on the run. But after several days, he was captured again. However, the most shocking escape was still to come. Back in prison, Bundy began planning another escape. For months, he secretly carved a small hole in the ceiling of his cell. Every day he worked on it. He even lost weight intentionally to make himself smaller. Then one night, he climbed through the opening and disappeared. Guards did not realize he was gone until the next morning. This became one of the most famous prison escapes in criminal history. But this escape had deadly consequences. After escaping, Bundy began killing again. In Florida, Bundy became more reckless. He took greater risks, and he started making mistakes. In 1978, he was captured again. This time, there was no escape. The evidence was overwhelming. There were witnesses. There was physical evidence. The game was over. The trial was broadcast on television. Millions of people watched. And something strange happened. Some people still believed he might be innocent. Bundy was extremely manipulative. Some women in the courtroom even expressed admiration for him. This shocked psychologists and investigators alike. Experts who studied Bundy's behavior identified classic psychopathic traits: lack of empathy, chronic lying, manipulation, no signs of remorse. Eventually, the jury delivered its verdict. Ted Bundy was found guilty and sentenced to death. While waiting for execution, Bundy finally began to talk. He gave interviews. He confessed to some of his crimes, but he never revealed everything. Many secrets went with him to the grave. In 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair. Outside the prison, crowds gathered. Some even celebrated. The case left a permanent mark on American criminal history. For years, the FBI studied the Bundy case. It became one of the most important examples in criminal psychology. One conclusion stood out above all others. Evil does not always look evil. Sometimes it hides behind charm and intelligence. What made Bundy truly terrifying was how ordinary he seemed. People trusted him because he appeared normal, and that is exactly what made him so dangerous. Perhaps the most frightening question is this: can we ever truly know what someone is capable of? Because sometimes the most dangerous people look exactly like everyone else.